figure out what age you are when you start DJing, because it's a series of wearing yourself into enjoying and appreciating music. It would have started early with my brother giving me records and me being able to actually put my hands on the records and put them on the platter and listen to them, and popping headphones on me and explaining the music. So it started there, and getting a collection of music from there from when I was 3 and 4 years old, from like Alvin and the Chipmunk records, silly stuff like that. To high school, the turning point was ASB students and cheerleaders at that time knew I had a great collection of records, because I was just always collecting records and always getting really cool new records. And so they said, hey, can you make us a tape of some music to play for the rallies and so on and so forth. And I'm like, yeah. And they said, well, can you combine these two together so they sound like one track? And so I worked from that idea, and I'm like, I got to figure out how to do that, because I was just used to button music up to itself. And so I figured out through a friend how to do that, and watching this DJ at this place called After Dark in Distillery East when I was in 9th grade. So I just started there. It was really rough, and then got the proper equipment and took off from there. In 1999, I did a remix of a David Bowie track called Let's Dance, and I was really proud of it. Like, it was a magic thing. And we put it out on red vinyl, and in record world, you can not put something on another side, so it's just a single-sided vinyl. And that one-sided vinyl sold for like $10, and we sold 10,000 of them, and then wouldn't repress them, because if you go over 10,000, it's a bootleg. So if you go over 10,000, then ASCAP follows up on you, and then you get in trouble for doing that. So I remember putting out 10,000, and I remember getting all the money for that. Oh my God, this is awesome. So I bought a pinball machine, like a Guns N' Roses pinball machine, and I just kept buying new equipment. Like everything that is in my sound studio has all been bought from making money in music, so that's just the way I've seen it. Like, it feeds itself, it regenerates itself, and I've never looked at it as something that needs to support me. So it's always been something I can enjoy and let go of and come back to at any point when I wanted to. I'd say if you're gonna get into DJing, my recommendation is love the music first. Don't love being the DJ first. Love doing music and be able to play to a crowd of one person as much as you can play to a crowd of 1,000 people and be just as happy. Favorite part about DJing? I think for me it was making people really happy, and having a good time, and that's really what it was all about. It should never be about the DJ. It should be about what they're doing for that crowd. And if that crowd's getting excited and really having a great time, then they did their job. It's a cool thing. So that for me always inspired me. Like, I had the best nights when people were just on it. They were out there dancing, having a great time, high-fiving you. Yeah, that's the greatest thing ever. And it makes you feel really good when you're that person that's doing that for them. Cool thing. To DJ means that you spend a lot of time listening to tracks and checking out tracks and then playing them and mixing them and practice mixing them and see if they work well together well ahead of time, because sometimes it seems like they'd be cool, but they're not always cool together, and I don't have the time. People have asked before, like, what is a DJ, or how would you define being a DJ, and so on and so forth. And I kind of see it as a bunch of different levels, because if you look at DJs now, they have laptops in front of them, and they're not really properly mixing tracks back and forth, between one to another, and it is what it is. Like, I call them like email DJs, like do my email while you're doing some, playing some tracks. And I don't really see that as DJing. So I see it as closer to the concept of what a radio DJ does, which is called selecting. So they have tracks up against each other and subtle fades in and fades outs. So I would deem that like a selector. And people that do proper beat matching, like 32 counts of beats out on a track and 32 in, and layering them in and popping in and out elements of the track as it goes along, or sampling bits into it. That to me is a great mixer, so that's a DJ to me.